Hi, everyone. Okay, it's a quick couple of minutes. So, firstly, I want to say about children. Everyone's asking me, what about my child, this. So, a lot of the questions are about children. So, how many children is in my chart, and is it a boy or is it a girl? Fate is never completely settled. That's what they say in Chinese. It's an old Chinese proverb or saying, whatever you want to call it. There is a way which in the old days it used to work, but today it doesn't, because we've tampered with our fate in that way. So, in the old days, if a child was not coming out the right way, then the baby and the mother would not make it. But today we have cesareans, we have other things, etc. And so if you're a certain element, and what you produce becomes a certain element as well. For example, if you're a wood element, what you produce is fire, because wood feeds the fire. So you're the mother element and you're feeding that fire. So that's what you produce. You do the deed, and with that in mind, etc., 3 sons or 5 sons, etc. And that's how it used to be in the old days. However, this system is not always correct, because, when my students are learning about this, it's not that simple, because sometimes if you're a weak element, what you produce is children. Sometimes if you're a strong element, what you produce and what you control becomes children. That's why it's a little bit different. But from a Feng Shui perspective, or an experience that we as consultants have had and students, the room you sleep in can actually determine the gender, boy or girl. And we make sure the room is that you are sleeping in an energy that's in its time now, which is 2018. 2018 is part of the age 8 cycle, which is about youth. So lots of children, there's no shortage there in this age. And this way you can plan. And I have done this for years. I know some of my students are there that have done this. I know my clients, and it has worked. So each building has this influence of fertility. And yes, I have had people doing the deed in the kitchen, because that's where fertility is, but it works. So then what you've got to deal with is when an energy visits, and that energy is visiting you in a certain direction of your building, whether it's your home, whether it's your office, whether it's the shed you hang out in, that kind of thing. And we've got to weaken and drain that element. And so this is why I do the updates every month. I do the workshops every year. And there is something just came into my head. There actually is no governing body here in Australia, and that was why with Feng Shui I decided to accredit the courses, because people need to be responsible for what information they're giving, that kind of thing. So there's no governing body, yet there is associations, okay? And the IFSA, if you Google that, I had Janine here once before, and that IFSA is International Feng Shui Association. It is an association. It is great to be part of an association, whether you are a consultant or not. There are levels that you go to, etc. And so those levels, then whenever there is something on, you then go to it and you learn. So you don't have to do the whole year of learning. If you just want to introduce yourself, this is how it is actually done. So when I talk about the remedies for that are visiting, a lot of people will put things, and they are wrong things. If you're doing the wrong thing, stop. That's it. No, I'm not going to talk more about that. I know you've all emailed about that sort of stuff. I can't do anything about it. So what I've done is I've accredited the course. It's information that is correct. There's the IFSA. You become part of that. Again, they will introduce you to stuff that is right and that is wrong at the same time. So there is no governing body to regulate this. And yes, there have been Feng Shui consultants taken to court, etc., but there's nothing to say, okay, unless they call a consultant. In the course, there are a few that I've shown my students and what the end was, but this is how it is. So again, if you want to be part of something that is Feng Shui but not learn the course either way, or study, etc., then the IFSA is the governing body here. It is part, it's called the Australian chapter. It is part of the International Feng Shui Association. So for everybody that says, what can I be a part of? There you are, okay? And if I decide to have an association, I'll let you know. So hopefully you've taken care of the remedies for the year, you've taken care of the remedies for the month, and I think that's the first time I've seen you here, Vicky and Manu. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're watching all the others, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Feng Shui thingy.